Okay, so you're looking to get straight to the good stuff, right? Those insights, those aha moments, but without feeling totally overloaded.
Yeah, information overload is real.
Exactly. And that's what we do here. Today, we're diving into something a bit unusual, actually. It's a web domain, Wbtcreborn.pw.
And the story behind it? Linked to an old crypto project, WorldBTC Reborn.
Right. And the info we're using, it comes from the details about this domain actually being available now.
Precisely. Think of it like digital archaeology. We're digging into what's left of this project, seeing if there's any, hidden value there.
Okay, so our mission basically is to figure out what this domain really means today. Does it have potential? What could someone actually do with it, especially in Web3?
Let's get into it. So Wbtcreborn.pw, what was it?
You tell me.
Well, fundamentally, it was the website address for the WorldBTC, or WBTC Reborn cryptocurrency.
Okay.
And the interesting thing right off the bat is a proof-of-stake crypto.
Ah, proof of stake. So not like Bitcoin's proof of work, which uses tons of electricity. This is where you stake your own coins to secure the network, the greener option.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
WBTC Reborn was designed specifically to be more energy efficient by using POS. It's a completely different approach, really.
Gotcha. A different engine, like you said. So let's talk history. What did WBTC Reborn actually do when it was active?
Well, it had a few key features. One was called SwiftTX.
SwiftTX?
Yeah, the idea was to make transactions confirm, like super fast, almost instant. You know how important speed is for online payments?
Definitely. Instant confirmations are always good. What else?
It also had a Masternode network.
A Masternode.
Okay, so users could lock up a certain amount of the crypto. There's 3,000 WBTC tokens for this one to run a Masternode.
And what did that do?
Those nodes help keep the network stable, help with governance, and the owners earned rewards for it. Kind of like being paid to help run the infrastructure.
Okay, so an incentive to participate. Was it all closed off, proprietary?
No, not at all. It was open source. Very common in blockchain.
Right.
The code was up on GitHub for anyone to look at, check for security, contribute even. Transparency is key. And they built a community on Discord and Twitter, too.
Sounds like a fairly typical setup for that time, but the reborn part, that suggests it wasn't the first iteration.
Good catch. Yeah, WBTC Reborn wasn't totally new. It was actually a community effort to revive an earlier project that had kind of fizzled out.
Ah, okay. So it had a bit of a built-in community, maybe?
Potentially, yes. Gave it a bit of a jump start. But like many crypto projects, even with that initial energy, it eventually just went inactive.
Inactive. But not completely wiped from the internet, I gather. You mentioned a lingering presence.
That's a really important point. It's not active, but it hasn't disappeared. It still exists online in various places.
Like where?
You can still find listings for it on big crypto data sites like CoinMarketCap, though it's marked untracked, meaning no live price data.
Untracked.
But it's still there. Same goes for CoinGecko, CoinCodex, CoinLore. It's listed.
Interesting. So the listings persist. What else?
Well, there's an archived GitHub repository,
Yeah.
so the code history is there.
The technical history.
Exactly. And the old Twitter account, @RebornWBTC, it's archived but still exists, shows its past activity. Even the Block Explorer, the site where you can see transactions, there's an archived version of that too, even if the live one is down.
Wow. So quite a few digital breadcrumbs left behind. What's the actual value in that, though, this lingering presence?
That's where it gets interesting. This visibility, even if faint, has potential value. First off, SEO, search engine optimization.
Ah.
The name WBTC Reborn probably still gets some searches, maybe from old community members or just curious people. So a new project using that domain might get a small boost in search results.
Okay, a little search recognition head start. Makes sense. What else?
There's also brand recognition. It's faint, maybe, but WBTC, it makes you think of Bitcoin, right? And wrapped tokens.
True, it sounds familiar, even if this wasn't related to wrapped Bitcoin.
Exactly. It was its own POS chain. But that initial association, that familiarity, could be useful, even if you need to clarify what it is now.
Okay, a familiar hook. You also mention those old listings on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap being significant. Why is that important now?
Because getting listed on those platforms today, it's much harder for new projects. Much more scrutiny.
Wow, the bar is higher now.
Definitely. The fact that WBTC Reborn was listed back then suggests it met certain standards, had some traction, gives it a kind of legacy credibility.
Legacy credibility. I like that, like a historical stamp of approval almost.
Sort of, yeah. It suggests it wasn't just vaporware. In a crowded market where new projects face a lot of skepticism, that history could be subtly valuable.
That makes a lot of sense, especially with trust being so crucial in crypto. Okay, let's talk about the domain itself. WBTCreborn.pw. What about the .pw part? Does that mean anything in the Web3 world?
It's interesting, the .pw extension, it's not as common as .com, obviously, but it is seen quite a bit in Web3.
Oh.
Yeah, it's often associated with professional web. And it seems to fit well for projects in DeFi, NFTs, POS platforms, which lines up with WBTC Reborn's tech, or even DAOs. It kind of signals a focus on the tech or professional side of Web3.
So it's not just random, it actually has some resonance in the space. Okay,
Yeah.
So bringing it all together, what could someone actually do with WBTCreborn.pw if they acquired it? Give us some concrete ideas.
Right, the possibilities. Well, the obvious one is to lean into the WBTC name, carefully distinguishing it, of course, and launch a new blockchain project.
Like a whole new token.
Could be a new token, yeah. Or maybe a staking platform with a new twist. Or a community-focused chain. A genuine rebirth of the concept, but updated.
Okay, a literal rebirth. What about something totally different, not crypto?
Absolutely. You could use the domain for an NFT project, maybe leveraging that name recognition,
Yeah.
or a DeFi platform. Or, here's an interesting angle, an educational site.
Educational. How so?
Given the history, imagine a site dedicated to analyzing old or failed crypto projects, like WBTC Reborn itself. Learning the lessons, what went right, what went wrong, could be really valuable.
That is interesting. Using the past failures to teach. What else?
You could build a community hub, maybe a crypto club, or even a DAO focused specifically on reviving old projects. Or, sticking to the tech, build a portal teaching about proof of stake or masternodes, using WBTC Reborn as a case study.
So really diverse options, from relaunching something similar to completely pivoting. Now, the info we have also mentions support from a group called A.Land. Who are they?
A.Land bills itself as a Web3 transformation company. Basically, they offer full support, technically and strategically, for people wanting to build in this space.
And they're involved with this domain sale.
Yes, they seem to be facilitating it and offering their services as part of the package, or at least as an option. They provide support from the very start.
Like what kind of support?
Everything from handling the domain transfer and initial hosting setup, they provide a link for that, all the way to full Web3 brand and token development if you want to launch a new crypto.
Wow, so they can handle the whole technical build.
Apparently so. They also mention AI tools for business strategy and content, plus help with marketing, design, launch plans, even investor decks.
Sounds pretty comprehensive, almost like a Web3 launchpad service tied to the domain.
Pretty much. They specifically say they can help people new to Web3 handling the tricky stuff like smart contracts, websites, branding. It makes the barrier to entry seem much lower.
Okay, that's a significant piece of the puzzle. Let's get down to the brass tacks then, the sale details. What are they?
Okay, the domain is WBTCreborn.pw. The minimum offer they're looking for is $5,000.
$5,000. And payment.
They accept Bitcoin, BTC, Ethereum, ETH, or the stablecoin Tether, USDT.
Standard crypto payments. And what comes with the domain? Just the name.
Actually, no. They mention optional extras included. A buyer can choose to get full technical rebranding, hosting, and development setup support directly from A.Land.
Ah, so that support we talked about can be bundled in.
Seems like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Could be a good option for someone wanting a more turnkey solution.
And how does the handover work?
A full ownership transfer of the domain, and they mention onboarding support to help the new owner get started.
Got it. And if someone listening is actually interested, how do they reach out?
They've provided a few ways. There's an email.info@.landland, a WhatsApp or phone number, plus 41 79 279 7979, and a link to something called their Innovation Hub for more info.
Okay, clear options there. So as we wrap this up, what's the main takeaway here?
I think the core idea is that WBTCreborn.pw isn't just, a domain name. It's a piece of digital history from the crypto world.
Digital artifact.
Exactly. It carries echoes of a past project, but it also offers this unique starting point for someone wanting to build something new in Web3 now. It's got this existing digital DNA you can tap into.
So it's an opportunity to own a slice of crypto history, maybe, but with the potential for a modern revival and, crucially, with professional help available to actually make it happen.
Precisely. Which leads to a final thought, maybe for you, the listener. In this digital age that moves so fast, what does it really mean to resurrect something digital that went dormant?
Yeah.
What kind of new value could be built on a foundation like that? And maybe think bigger, too. What other forgotten digital relics are out there just waiting for someone to see their potential and bring them back in a new way?